What's up, YouTube? I hope each and every one of you guys are healthy and enjoying life today. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the 2025 Subaru Outback Touring XT. Huge thank you to Josh Brown over at Stohlman Subaru of Sterling, Virginia for allowing me to do this video for you guys today. If you are interested in this particular Outback or any Subaru product, then I'll be sure to have Josh's information on screen as well as in the description box down below. But with that said, let's get into the video. It is a hot, humid, and windy day outside here today, so I apologize in advance if there is any wind noise in today's video. But just like usual, first I'm going to talk about the exterior and the performance. So like I said, this is a 2025 Subaru Outback Touring XT, and this particular one's been painted in autumn green metallic. I wanted to preface this video by saying there have been no changes made to the Touring XT for the 2025 model year. So with that in mind, as standard with the Touring XT, you get LED steering responsive headlights with high beam assist, as well as LED daytime running lights, standard turn signals, and LED fog lights. Now I'm going to take a step to the left and give you a front-on shot of the Touring XT. And with this trim level, you get the satin black front grille with the two gray grille bars, both to the right and the left of your Subaru logo. Just beneath your Subaru logo, you will notice that you get a forward-facing camera, and that is because the Touring XT comes standard with the front 180-degree view camera system. I think they should up the graphics with that camera system, and also I believe that with the new refresh of the Outback, maybe 2026, 2027, they must incorporate a 360-degree view camera system, in my personal opinion, because that is a major feature that this top-of-the-line Outback is missing. But taking a step back just a little bit, you get the satin black lower fascia with the silver front chin, and then also on the outsides of your front bumper, you get the satin black cladding that flares in just beneath your headlights. And last but not least, you get 8.7 inches of ground clearance here with this trim level. So like I mentioned, you get the satin black lower fascia. The satin black lower fascia leads into your satin black wheel arch moldings. This particular one's been optioned with the $198 splash guards, which can be found behind all four of your wheels and tires. Now, speaking of the wheels and tires, the Touring XT gets the 18-inch dark metallic with machine finish wheels, and the wheels are wrapped in 225/60 Yokohama Avid GT all-season tires. I'm going to give you a view of the tread pattern on these tires here real quick. That is what they look like. One thing I just want to mention is I just did a video with a 2025 Forester Sport, and that is like the mid-range Forester, and that had 19-inch wheels. So it's interesting that the mid-range Forester has bigger wheels than the top-of-the-line Outback. But anyways, it doesn't really matter. The smaller wheels actually aid for a better on-road ride. But I also wanted to mention, as standard, you get a windshield wiper de-icer, and this one being the Touring XT, you get the satin chrome mirror caps with integrated turn signals. And as standard, these side view mirrors are heated, power folding. You will find your blind spot monitoring on the inside of both of your side view mirrors, here on the driver's side mirror and about right there on the passenger side mirror. You also get two memory seat adjustment settings, and the memory seat adjustment settings are also going to memorize your outer mirror settings as well, which is definitely very nice. And last but not least, this one's been optioned with the $298 exterior auto dimming mirrors with the approach light. So if somebody's approaching you at night with their high beams on, both of your mirrors will auto dim, and the approach light is kind of just like a puddle light on the side view mirrors. Now here is a side profile shot of this thing. I have said this a few times in my videos that I think of this more as an SUV. I've gotten plenty of hate for that, but honestly it's kind of like a hybrid between an SUV and a wagon. You can see it sits up higher than a wagon. A wagon kind of slopes that roof design. This maybe has a little bit of a sloping roof design, but this is a 60-40 hybrid between an SUV and a wagon. Anyways, at the top of the roof line, you can see you get the satin black with the silver roof rails with the integrated retractable crossbars. So you can make these crossbars basically go here and here, so you can tie something down like a surfboard to the roof. Definitely very usable and very nice. You can see you also get the satin chrome window trim. You get the body color door handles with the chrome strip and keyless access. Here's a closer view of that chrome strip right there. And then at the bottom of all of your passenger doors, you get the satin black door cladding with the silver Outback lettering. The Outback lettering is only found on the rear two doors. Now coming around back, up top here, you can see you get your satin black antenna, but you can see you get a camera located at the center of that antenna. I'm trying to give you a good view of that. And the reason you have the camera right there is because the Touring XT comes standard with the digital rear view mirror, which I'm showing you on screen right now. Very usable feature. It rids you of your blind spots. I'm a big fan of digital rear view mirrors. Anyways, also you get a body color roof spoiler with your integrated third brake light. You get a rear window defroster, a single speed rear wiper, and standard taillights with a black taillight bezel. Now, taking a step back, here is a rear 3/4 shot of this thing. I'm gonna take a step to the right, give you a little booty shot of this thing. I'm a big fan of the way that the Outback looks. I think they did a great job here with the design. I'm also a fan of green on the Outback. Not normally a fan of green on cars unless it's like a Ferrari in a deeper green. Just my personal opinion, or a Porsche. Anyways, you can see you get your chrome badging back here. You get your Subaru logo. This Subaru logo also doubles as the thing to open up your hands-free liftgate. All you would do is stick your hand right here, about 4 inches away from it, and that is how you open up the liftgate. Never works on camera. As soon as the camera turns off, the liftgate will, or hands-free liftgate system will work. Then that's your backup camera, but just underneath your Subaru logo, if you press on that pad, that is to open up your liftgate. Now, before we step into the trunk area, I wanted to show you that this one's been optioned with the $168 rear bumper cover, which is what this piece is right here. So let's say you're dragging something heavy out of there and it's just dragging. Rather than scratching your bumper itself, it's going to scratch this satin black piece of plastic. Very easy and cheap to replace. So if you drag stuff, I think that might be an option you might want to look into getting. You also have the cargo tray back here, basically a floor mat for the trunk area. You get the retractable cargo protector right here. Basically, when you have your trunk closed, people can't see what you have in your trunk when the trunk is closed. And then you also get 2 grocery bag hooks, one on the driver's side, one here on the passenger side. And you may be asking yourself, what are these door handle looking things? So basically, if you pull on the door handle looking thing, that is how you drop your second row seats. And you can see you get quite a bit more storage space there with the second row seats dropped. I would say you probably get an additional about 3.5, maybe 4 feet of storage space with those second row seats down. But I would say with the second row seats up, you still get about 3.5, 4 feet of storage space. A very large trunk here with the Outback. Definitely a fan of that. This one being the Touring XT as standard, you get the 12-speaker Harman Kardon sound system, which is found on the driver's side of the trunk area. But on the passenger side of the trunk area, you get a little cubby, storage cubby with the cargo net. So you can probably set maybe gloves, stuff like that down in there, usable things you can just grab. Definitely like that. And then you also get a 12-volt power outlet here on the passenger side of the trunk as well. Now, underneath your cargo cover, if you grab up on this and pull up, that is where you will find your jack. You have your tow hook, and if you keep on digging, that is where you will find your spare tire down underneath there. So definitely nice to see that this thing comes with a spare tire. It seems like a lot of the new vehicles that are coming out nowadays, they now have the tire inflator kit, but not the spare tire, or they have run flat tires. So I'm not a fan of run flat tires. They're kind of loud. But here on your trunk itself, if you flip this to the right, that is how you turn on your floodlight. So it is set to door, so anytime the trunk opens, this light will turn on. If you flip it to the left, anytime you open up the trunk, the lights will stay off. A couple other things back here. You get the button on the left to lock the vehicle, button on the right to close the power lift gate. By the way, this is a hands-free height adjustable power lift gate. I failed to mention the height adjustable part, but it is height adjustable. And then finishing things off here at the rear end, you get the satin black rear bumper with the 4 integrated parking sensors. And just like the front, you also get the silver accent color trim piece at the center of the rear bumper. And the Touring XT gets a max tow capacity of 3,500 pounds. So you can pull a couple jet skis, maybe a small boat, side by side, 4-wheeler. You get the gist, as long as it is under 3,500 pounds. 35 pounds, it's not that much. 3,500 pounds, quite a bit of weight. And then opening up your fuel door, you do not get a capless filler neck. However, 87 octane will do you just fine. And that's kind of about it for the exterior of the 2025 Outback. I am a big fan of this generation Outback. I think it looks fantastic. Very nice on the interior. And this is really the vehicle that got me into liking Subarus. I never was an Outback fan before. I started driving them. I'm like, these things are actually pretty dang good. But anyways, with that stuff out of the way, let's move into performance. Popping open that hood reveals the 2.4 liter turbo boxer 4-cylinder that produces 260 horsepower and 277 pound-feet of torque. It's made it to a high torque lineartronic CVT for a 0 to 60 time in 6 seconds. And if you were wondering about fuel economy, you can achieve 22 miles per gallon in the city, 29 miles per gallon on the highway for 25 miles per gallon combined with standard all-wheel drive. One thing that I really like about the Outback is that Subaru gives you the option of either choosing the 2.5 liter naturally aspirated rated boxer 4-cylinder. Quite a bit less power, gets a little bit better fuel economy. Or if you like power, they offer the boxer 4-cylinder. I just did a video with a new Forester, and I said they should offer the boxer 4-cylinder with the Forester. Basically, this engine in the seating position of the Outback makes me like the Outback better than the Forester. But anyways, if you're enjoying the video so far today, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot reach my goal without your support. So if you're enjoying the video, if you've learned anything thus far, please take a second to like, comment, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. But with that stuff out of the way, let's move into the interior. Moving on into the interior, as mentioned earlier, you get keyless access as standard, so all you have to do is have your key fob in your pocket, walk up to the vehicle, put your hand behind the door handle, and it will unlock. You can also lock it if you run your finger across these two lines here, and it will lock back up. This is what the key fob looks like. It's satin black with some satin chrome accenting, and going over the functions on it, starting from the top, you have your lock function. Subaru logo is your unlock function. Then you have your power liftgate button and your panic function all the way down at the bottom. Let's press that Subaru logo and see what the interior of the Touring XT has to offer. So this particular one's been spec'd with the Java Brown Napa leather upholstery. If you're not a fan of the Java Brown, they also offer the black Napa leather upholstery. By the way, the Touring is what gives you the Napa leather. Otherwise, you would get the regular leather. We'll get more into that here in a second, but this is what the door panel looks like. You can see you get some vinyl wrapping up top here. Then you get some of that leather. I think this is like faux leather. So is this. But anyways, you get the 2 memory seat adjustment settings. That button is to power fold in or out your side view mirrors. Then you have your side view mirror controls, your unlock and your lock functions, automatic up and down windows at all 4 corners. That button is going to restrict your passenger window privileges. You get a nicely padded and leather wrapped armrest with some accent colored stitching, a spot you could set a phone, some more storage space, a spot you could set a water bottle, and as standard with the Touring XT, you get the 12 speaker Harman Kardon sound system. Now this is what these front seats look like. Definitely very nice, very comfortable looking. And as standard, you get a 12-way power driver seat with 4-way power lumbar. You also get an 8-way power front passenger seat. And by the way, the driver seat also does get the manual thigh extension as well. The front passenger seat does not get the thigh extension. But anyways, these seats are heated and ventilated as standard. But now, stepping on into the interior, let's take a listen to what it sounds like when you close the door. Now let's fire it up. And that is what it sounds like to fire up the Touring XT from the driver's perspective. Now going throughout the interior, up top here, you have your defroster for your front driver window. You get the same thing over there for the front passenger window. And now I'm gonna show you, you have an HVAC vent. Coming down just a little bit, this is to open and or close your power liftgate. The scroll knob is to brighten and or dim your gauge cluster as well as your backlit buttons. And then the button to the right of that is to turn the hands-free liftgate system on or off. Now coming to the bottom of the steering wheel, if you flip this down, that gives you access into your manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. What I mean by that, you can push the steering wheel away from you, you can bring the steering wheel towards you, and it also moves up and down. And then once you find your comfortable position, all you gotta do is lock it right back into place. But now let's take a listen to the turn signal. That is what the turn signal sounds like here on the Outback. And not only is this the turn signal control stock, it is also the headlight control stock, the high beam control stock, and the fog light control stock. So right now that is headlights always on, parking lights on, headlights automatic, headlights off, fog lights on, fog lights off. I like to leave it in headlights automatic personally. Now zooming back out, you get a leather wrapped steering wheel with steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. The steering wheel is also heated as standard. You have this button right here that will illuminate in amber when the heated steering wheel is on. That does come standard, and just like any other vehicle, you have your horn at the center. So let's take a listen. That is what the horn sounds like on the Outback. Now going throughout the controls on the steering wheel, that is to go forwards and or backwards on a track. This is going to switch you between your different audio sources like AM, FM, XM, Bluetooth audio, etc. The up and the down arrow right here is for your 4.2-inch productivity screen. This is to pick up on a phone call. This is to hang up on a phone call, as well as mute the audio system. This is to speak to the vehicle. You can tell the vehicle to turn the AC to 61 degrees. Then you have your volume controls down here. Now coming to this side of the steering wheel, as standard with the Outback, you get the Subaru EyeSight suite of features. So you get the advanced adaptive cruise control system with the lane centering, and here are your cruise control settings. Then you also have your windshield wiper control stock there. And moving into our gauge cluster, you can see on the left-hand side, you have your tachometer as well as your coolant temperature gauge. And on the right-hand side, you have your speedometer as well as your fuel gauge. Now, taking a look at our productivity screen, at the top, you have your instant fuel economy stuff. Beneath that, you have your compass, and then beneath your compass, you have the digital speedometer readout. Now, all the way down here, you can see that green eye. That is your driver focus system. So I'll show on screen right now what the driver focus system does. Basically, read your eyes. And if I'm looking over there and I see a cow, I'm focusing on the cow and not the road ahead of me, it's gonna pop up a thing. It's gonna beep, 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 and it's gonna say, keep eyes on road. It's a pretty cool system. Anyways, then you get your transmission status stuff there. You get your odometer that says 245, and where it says 243.7, that is your trip A information. If you click this trip reset button down here one time, it's gonna put you into your trip B information. We're gonna go back into trip A, and you press it and hold on that button, the values will reset back down to 0. Now, to control that screen again, you have the up and the down arrow here. So if I just click down, you can see navigation stuff now, audio stuff now. Then I got my time and my temperature. Then you get the average trip A fuel economy and the fuel range. Then you get some more analytical data, Then you have this screen basically counting how long the auto stop start system has turned the vehicle off for and how much fuel the auto stop start system has saved. And you go down, then you get your tire pressure monitoring stuff. You have to be moving in order to get a tire pressure reading, and then you're back down to your compass. So the driver focus system reads your eyes from right here. So beneath that, you can see you get the Starlink 11.6-inch infotainment system with built-in navigation and wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto connectivity. On the outsides of the screen, however, you have your hazard button, volume control knob. Click on that is going to mute the audio system. If you press and hold on this, this is going to turn the screen off. Press and hold on it again, that is going to cancel out that function. Then you get your front defroster, driver temperature controls, you get your passenger temperature controls. Then you have the rear defroster right there. You got your tuning control knob. And if you press and hold on the tuning control knob, it is going to pop up your tone settings. You can adjust the bass, the treble, the mid, balance, fader, etc. At the top of the screen itself, though, you have your ambient exterior temperature. You get the current time. Right now, this is the Apple CarPlay stuff. You click to the right, you have your navigation stuff. Then you have your acceleration percentage. So if I floored it, it would be 100% acceleration. Then you get your fuel consumption stuff, your angle, you get your weather. And then you have your X mode on or off. X mode is basically like your traction control optimization. And then moving into the screen itself, this is what the home screen looks like. You can read all of those different widgets. You get wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. This is what the Apple CarPlay screen looks like. Not full screen Apple CarPlay, but you know, it gets a job done for sure. And then this is your secondary screen. You got your car information stuff, basically gonna bring you your driver assistance stuff, driver statistics, and then also your maintenance schedule. Then you get your button to turn the screen off, valet mode, auto vehicle hold. Basically, if you turn that on, the vehicle will hold you in place by itself with its braking system. That is to turn your traction control system on or off. And then beneath that, you have these different shortcuts to shortcut you into your vehicle control settings, driving assistance settings, and your more settings there. Then that is your auto vehicle hold, same button as that one right there. Then you get your auto stop start system on or off, home button. This is going to bring you into your paired devices. And then all the way over here, you have your different driver profiles. Now beneath that, as mentioned, you get heated and ventilated front seats as standard. You get 3 levels of adjustability with the heated and the ventilated front seats. Now this climate control thing will always be at the bottom of the screen. So you have your physical temperature controls. Then you also have the buttons right here for the fan speed. If you wanted more climate controls, you click where that box right there, It's going to pop up your climate controls throughout the entire screen. And that's kind of about it for the screen itself. Beneath the screen, you have an electronic parking brake. Then you get a USB-A port, a USB-C port, an auxiliary jack. And this particular Outback has been optioned with the $347 wireless charging pad. This is an iPhone 14 Pro Max, one of the bigger phones on the market, and it does fit in the wireless charging pad. Now behind that, you have your gear selector. If you wanted to control the transmission with the paddle shifters, you'd have to go into drive, flip it over to the left, and then you can control the transmission with the paddle shifters. And then to the right of the gear shifter, you have your front 180-degree view camera system button. It's going to pop up the camera system. The graphics on the camera are not very good. Now behind that, you get your 2 cup holders. You get a leather-wrapped armrest, nicely padded, and you open it up. You can see you get your CD holder thing right here. So this vehicle still has a CD thing, pretty cool. I know a lot of you Subaru guys like that. And then opening that up, you get a 12-volt power outlet. Not too much storage space down in there, however. And then also, if you wanted a spot you could set some business cards, you can open up this piece here. So this is going to bring you into this piece. The button on the right is going to bring you all the way down to the bottom of that console. Now moving over to here, you get a spot you could set your phone up top there. Beneath that, you get a lockable lower glove box with quite a bit of storage space. So you could set your owner's manual, then you get your napkins and your straws and stuff like that. You can also set down in there. And then this is what the passenger side looks like. One thing I do like about these seats is they get the adjustable headrests. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels of adjustability with those front seats. Makes it very easy. You can rest your neck on that without having to use your neck muscles on a long road trip. I did notice, however, the new Forester got rid of the adjustable headrests, as did the Crosstrek and the Impreza. Big mistake getting rid of these headrests. These are awesome. I love these headrests. And then as standard with the Touring XT, you get the digital rear view mirror. This is what it looks like. You can see basically projecting what I see behind me. Rids me of my blind spots. That's why I like it. And then you have your compass up top there. Clicking on these 3 buttons is for your home link, so your universal garage door opener. And then you also have a couple different settings here with the digital rear view mirror. So you can click on this and you can adjust the brightness of it. You can adjust it down, you can adjust it up, you can also adjust it to the left, you can adjust it to the right, and you can also adjust the rotation of it as well. I think this is the most amount of adjustability here with the digital rear view mirror as any other digital rear view mirrors on the market. Definitely a big fan of this. And then also, if you flip this forward, you can see now it's just behaving like an auto dimming rear view mirror. So if you like the Touring XT but you're not a fan of the digital rear view mirror, you can flip it forward. It's going to be just a regular auto dimming mirror, or if you flip it back, you get the digital rear view mirror, which I like because it helps me with the blind spot stuff. And then opening this up, you get a spot you could set your sunglasses. You get your roadside assistance buttons there. When you have this flipped to the right, when you open up the doors, the interior lights will not turn on. If you flip it to the left, when you open up the doors, the interior lights will turn on. Both of your reading lights are LED. And then you also get a power tilting and sliding sunroof. All you do is pull back on that. That is going to slide the sunroof open. You pull back one more time, it's going to open up the sunroof all the way. And then also, if you wanted to tilt the sunroof, all you have to do is push up like that and the sunroof will tilt. Anyways, that's about it for that sunroof thing. Opening up the visor, you get a vanity mirror with 2 vanity lights. This particular one's been optioned with the $104 LED upgrade, which upgrades these lights from halogen to LED. And then, by the way, the visor does slide forwards and backwards for when the sun is in those awkward positions. Now, also, driver gets a no poop handle, as does the front passenger. And I wanted to talk about seat comfort because I think these seats are very, very comfortable. If you're a taller person, the Touring XT does offer the thigh extension, which is definitely very nice if you got longer legs. I don't have that problem, but if you do, you got the thigh extension. Now I'm going to throw the entire window sticker on screen. Take a look at the safety stuff. Take a look at all these convenience features down at the bottom of the window sticker, but I am just going to highlight the MSRP. So the way MSRP of the way that this particular 2025 Outback Touring XT is spec'd is $45,305. Now, I did a video probably a month or so ago of a 2025 Forester Touring, and that MSRP'd at around $42,000. So for an additional $3,000, you get the bigger engine. The turbo engine is a huge selling point to me with the Outback. Also, the seating position of the Outback, I personally like better than the Forester as well. The only thing I do like about the new Forester better than the Touring XT Outback is that the Foresters now get the 360-degree view camera system if you get the Touring. definitely a nice feature. This needs to come with that here soon. But I do want to show you what we got going on in the rear seats before moving into the driving portion of the video. So taking a look at what we got going on back here, automatic up and down windows, and the windows go all the way down. Then you get a nicely padded armrest, a spot you can set your phone with a little bit of storage space. You get a cup holder and a speaker. This is what these second row seats look like. Pulling on this thing right here is how you recline the second row seats. And if you press this, that is how you drop the second row seats. Now, stepping on into the rear seats, up top here, you get a no poop handle and a spot you could set your dry cleaning. You get 3 seat back pockets behind the driver's seat, same with the front passenger seat. You also get 2 HVAC vents back here. The Touring XT gets heated outboard second row seats with 2 levels of adjustability as standard. You also get a USB-A port, a USB-C port, and you get the same stuff on that side as well. You also get a dome light back here that is LED, and then you get a center fold down armrest, 2 cup holders, nicely padded armrest, and then plenty of knee and leg room. Here's another view of my knee and leg room. I am 5'9" and I am adjusted behind myself, and I've also got plenty of headroom left over as well. Now, as mentioned, you can recline these second row seats. You pull on this thing right here, and that is how you recline your second row seats. So you can be very comfortable here in the second row. So the Outback is awesome. I personally like it better than the Forester. I like the way that it sits better. I like the way it drives better. And I like how you have the option of the XT engine. My only complaint is I really think that this thing needs a 360-degree view camera system in order to compete with the competition. Just my personal opinion. You can let me know your thoughts on that in the comments down below. Does the new Outback need a 360 camera system? Let me know. But, you know, we've talked about the exterior, we've talked about the performance, and now we've talked about what's going on here in the interior. So I want to see what this thing's like to drive, as I'm assuming you guys do as well. So I'll see you guys in the driver's seat. All right, now on to the driving portion of the video, where I always start my videos here. We go over these speed bumps at 5 miles an hour, and then I rate them on a scale of 1 to 10. That was about 4. Did very well over that first speed bump. Got a new Toyota Land Cruiser behind me. Let's do 5 miles an hour over the second speed bump here. Get down to 5. And I'm going to give this thing an 8.2 on a scale of 1 to 10. It did very well going over those speed bumps. By the way, that new Land Cruiser looks sick, but when did Toyota become a premium brand asking for premium brand pricing? It's crazy. The new Tacoma is like $60,000. It's just crazy the way that cars are priced. And that like puts it into perspective. It's like, okay, 45 grand for a nice Subaru. I can't complain all that much. But I'm going to do a nice little acceleration here before we get out onto the highway, and let's see what this thing's got. That is one thing about the Touring XT, is that it has great acceleration. The XT engine is definitely worth it in my personal opinion. It's got that extra power that I personally want on a vehicle. And that's just, again, my personal opinion. You might not think that it needs the extra power, but I gotta put the dealer tag on here real quick, so 1 second. All right, we got the D tag on. Let's see how well this thing merges back into traffic. And that is why you get the Touring XT. Very easy acceleration. Now, I just got out of a Forester Sport, which has the same base engine as the Outback, right? It's the 2.5 liter naturally aspirated boxer 4-cylinder, and there's just a massive difference power-wise between the boxer 4-cylinder and the naturally aspirated boxer 4-cylinder versus the turbo boxer 4 that we get here with the XT. XT is absolutely worth it. You know, I'm one of those people who I like having additional power in a vehicle. You know, I don't like to have to really like floor a vehicle in order to get onto a highway or get merged into traffic. I like to be able to just, you know, put 40% throttle and be able to get faster than everybody else. You know, maybe this isn't faster than everybody else at 40% throttle, but you know what I'm saying. It just gives you that ease of power with the XT versus the NA 4-cylinder. You know, it's just, I would prefer an XT Outback. Even if it was just like the Onyx Edition XT, I'd be totally happy with that as well. I mean, that's just a very nice vehicle as well. But if you want the top of the line model with the nice soft touch points on the steering wheel, the Napa leather upholstery, etc., etc., well, then the Touring XT is the way to go. This is the fully loaded model, and again, my only complaint is that it does not have a 360-degree view camera system. It pretty much has everything else. I think the new design, or the design that we have here now, is fantastic. I don't think that really needs to be changed or tweaked, but I do think they need to add a 360-degree view camera system. This thing would be nearly perfect. You know, there's not really many other things that I can complain about. You know, maybe a few people out there might prefer having 20-inch wheels as opposed to 18s, but the thing about the 18s is that the 18s are going to make the vehicle ride much nicer, you know, over bumpy roads and stuff like that. But I do want you to hear a little sound of what it sounds like cruising at about 45-50 miles an hour with the wind noise, with the road noise, and then also going over these bridge joints. So just take a quick listen to it. So as you can see, it is very well insulated from the outside world. I mean, it cruises very quietly here on the interior. It's a very nice ride. And you know, this thing rides similar-ish to the Forester, but there's something about the Outback that I prefer the way that it drives, and I think it really comes down to the seating position. I really like to just sit a little bit lower. I feel like the Forester's roof line is just a little bit too tall for me. It feels like it's just like a box almost that I'm sitting in, whereas the new Forester is a little bit better than the older one, I will give it that, but I just prefer the seating position of the Outback. I prefer the look of the Outback better. So the Outback would be what I would get if I was between a Forester and an Outback. So I just really like the Touring XT, obviously, because it is the fully loaded model, but you get the nice soft leather. I feel like this is like Napa leather wrapped on the steering wheel as well. You know, I've driven a couple other Outbacks with the leather wrapped wheel, and it just doesn't quite feel as nice as the wheel here in the Touring XT as compared to, let's say, the Onyx XT, for example. So just something like that makes the vehicle feel much nicer. It's the same thing on like F-150s. You know, they have like the regular like fake leather wrapped steering wheel, and then you get into a Lariat with the nice leather wrapped steering wheel, and you're like, man, that just makes a big difference with the driving experience. It's just small things like that that really just make you feel like you're in a much nicer vehicle. So this thing is very nice. It drives very nice. The Harman Kardon sound system sounds fantastic. Maybe not fantastic, but it sounds really good. I was just in a Forester with the Harman Kardon sound system, and I almost feel like the Forester's sound system was a little bit better than the sound system in the Outback. That's also a Harman Kardon sound system. I believe that's an 11-speaker system. The Outback, it's the 12-speaker system, but I feel like the Forester's almost sounded a little bit better than the Outbacks. Here's another little cruise at about 55. Now let's go down to about 45, and let's say we needed to merge or something like that, and I floor it. You can see it's got the power that you need if you needed to merge into traffic or something like that. So definitely a big fan of the XT engine. So if you're on the fence of, do I need the XT or should I save the extra money, get the XT. Get the XT. I'm telling you, you will not regret it. It still gets pretty good fuel economy. I believe it's a 25 city, 29 highway or something like that. I can't remember, but all I know is that it's in the 20s in the city, and with that low end torque that you get with this engine, highly recommend the XT. So other than that, the thing is super comfortable. It drives very nicely. It's very easy to park. The handling is great. Like, I'm doing a little handling test right here, and you can do a high-speed maneuver in this thing if you needed to. God forbid you do need to, but if you needed to, I would have the confidence in the Touring XT to do some sort of high-speed maneuver. More confidence inspiring here with the Outback's handling rather than the Forester's handling. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get straightened out here, and I'm going to do an acceleration from, you know, 15 to about 60. Floor it. Much better power here with the XT. I mean, it's just not even really a comparison. So, but that is one thing I do like about Subaru, is that they give you the option of the NA engine with less power, better fuel economy, or the more power, a little bit less fuel economy. So I think that's great. You know, I'm a huge fan of options. Give me options. You know, I'd like to have the option of the slower engine, better fuel economy, or the faster engine with a little bit less fuel economy. I think it's great. Just to summarize this thing, cruises very well. The seat is very comfortable. I love all the options that you get. The only option that I would like to have is a 360-degree view camera system. I love the digital rear view mirror, and I love the blind spot monitoring. I mean, it's going to give you everything that you want in a vehicle. It's going to be very comfortable, very safe, tons of safety features, and the sound system sounds very good as well. But that's it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy the video, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot reach my goal without your support. So if you enjoyed the video, if you learned anything from the video, please just take a second to like, comment, and subscribe. Those things look very good for my channel in the YouTube algorithm, and that is what helps me grow. Also, I wanted to come on here and say thank you all so much for 40,000 subscribers. I mean, in the landscape of YouTube, 40,000 is puny, but to me it is huge, and I really, really do appreciate each and every one of you guys. I mean, I wouldn't be where I am today or have any of the things that I have. I don't have much. Maybe I do got, you know, I'm very blessed, but I wouldn't have any of it if it weren't for all of you guys. So thank you all so much for the continued support. I really, really do appreciate it. But again, that is it for today's video. I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.